Are you going back to some of the folks you knew and when you were in the legal, profession or
Yeah, so I'm
yeah.
definitely reaching out to the real estate professionals, that industry as a whole, because when I worked in that industry, I really saw a very big gap in people leveraging technology as a whole. And I think it's known that real estate is like adopting technology last usually. So there's so many applications that could be applicable in the real estate industry. And it's such a data rich industry where AI thrives on data. You're constantly reading contracts, title reports, doing due diligence. So there's so much possibility to really automate a lot of these tasks, especially where everything's written down and so document heavy.
Yeah, I know. You're in New Jersey, right? Is that where you are? Yeah. I mean, I know in New York. I mean, it's been a while since I bought my house, but that was pretty painful. And there's a lot of different um, parties involved. There's a lot of documentation. It's also a lot of sensitive documentation, right? It's got all my banking and financial information. It's got employment information, and then obviously legal information that's coming from a lot of different sources. So I understand on some level why they would be reluctant to apply technology for all of those sensitive reasons. But at the same time, I think to your point and the work that you're doing, we've reached the point where if you do it right, and you're ethical and responsible about it, um, there's a lot that you can accomplish to help you,
Yeah. I
scale.
think I think it could also help you on the back end because as my time working as a paralegal, I saw tons of, even while reviewing older contracts or on the web, that there's always sometimes issues where people leave clauses in contracts that shouldn't be there or should be there, or maybe something was mentioned in an email that was never applied. So I built out some type of workflow and custom GBT where you put in all the emails, you put in all the contracts, you put in all the due diligence, and then just do one final check to review everything to make sure that nothing was mentioned in an email that is in the contract or maybe something that was taken out. It just, you have so many opportunities to make sure your work is even better than it was. That doesn't affect you. So even if you don't want to use it to draft the contract, which I still think is so helpful in of itself to get the first draft done and then you could still edit it. But let's say you're taking that approach, why not have it review after you're done to make sure that you didn't miss anything? There's just so many ways to start applying it to your company where you don't have to go all in right away.
Right. So when you take on a client and you start doing this for them, you build an agent or you apply some automation in certain parts, but then you say, let's get you comfortable with that piece of it, and then maybe you come back when they've seen it run through successfully for a while, and then you expand on it, or how
Yeah.
might a
So what,
typical
what I
engagement
like
work?
doing, yeah, what I like doing with a client is I kind of go on an intro call and see if we're a good fit. And if we decide we are, we kind of like map out their entire business and see what are the different areas that they would need help with. And there's so many applications out there and so many third-party tools that it's very overwhelming. And I've went through a lot of them. So I could really have good insights into which one will be helpful for their specific circumstance. So I'll help them start integrating the tools that are right for them just to start leveraging AI properly. And then I like meeting with clients at least once a week, at least for an hour, just to get them acquainted with the tools because I find that I had a few people that they just wanted the tools and then they didn't want to continue like with going for an hour a week. And I just find that they don't do anything with it at the end of the day because it's so overwhelming and it's so much information to learn that you really need someone besides you know like showing you be like, okay, you had this task to do but you also had this tool. Did you try to use it? Did you try to leverage it? Did you try to think of outside the box on how to make it better and faster? So you kind of need someone by your side for at least a little bit to get that lift to really start thinking differently. So then once we're comfortable with like the basic tools, then we'll start automating more because once you start automating things, even before they have a basic understanding of how to use a custom chatbot or how to interact with it, it just then it starts getting very messy, and that's where things start to go wrong.
Right. Right. No, that makes sense. And do they, um, are they more of the mind like set it and forget it, or do they actually learn how to do some some tweaking themselves? I mean, are you sort of in any way like sort of upskilling them in the process,
Yeah,
or just
because
okay?
I'm showing them. So there's certain areas where I meet a client, and the first thing I'll do is I'll build them a personal custom GBT that's tailored to them as a personal assistant, because I always say I think everyone should have one. It's kind of like everything on my website, everything on my LinkedIn profile, my resume, everything that I'm doing, I give it instructions that it's my personal assistant. So now when I need to draft emails or fill out forms or do all these questionnaires that take a lot of time, it's kind of, I could take a screenshot of it, put it in my custom assistant, be like, okay, fill it out for me, because it's my personal assistant. And you don't realize how much time this takes up on an average day of just this type of work. And it's kind of like my second brain that knows everything I'm doing, so I can leverage it for everything. And that, like right there, is such a big lift. And then I'll start integrating certain CRM tools. A lot of people, their information is all over the place. So I'll integrate certain applications that's applicable to them and then have them start learning how to use it better, because unless they want me to stay in their company indefinitely, they do need to know how to use it. So I give them step by step tools, and like for them to go off and watch the trainings and then to see how they're using it next week, and then to keep on going and learning.